Hey, what's up guys, Rampedi here. It's another week and we're back with another show. Are Mamelodi Sundowns tired or complacent? Kaizer Chiefs still on 0 goals in 2023. And Orlando Pirates, where have you guys been? Gotta talk about it. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
This past weekend, we had a big game. It was a massive game. Two big teams going head to head. The hype, the promos for this game was immense. I was really looking forward to it. Kaizer Chiefs taking on Mamelodi Sundowns. Masanda Wana winning that one 1-0. But the game was flat. Yeah, I expected a little bit more. I stated in the video that I posted on social that I expected to be entertained from both teams, especially seeing the targets they're trying to push for either or. And Sundowns, a lot of good things happened for them. They broke the winning streak, 12 wins in a row. They broke their previous streak, which was 11, and they've gone on to 12. And also beating Kaizer Chiefs home and away. I actually was surprised when I saw that stat that Mamelodi Sundowns has never beaten Kaizer Chiefs home and away in a league campaign. And also they got another clean sheet, without a doubt. Strange enough, yes, they got the win. Sundowns got the win, stretched the gap. But I think they could have performed a lot better than what they did. Because what surprised me was they started off really great within that first half. They were pressing Kaizer Chiefs. You could even see Kaizer Chiefs were scared. They were scared, they were nervous. You could even tell at some point Kaizer Chiefs was on some, don't hurt me, guys. Please don't hurt me, Mamelodi Sundowns. And once they scored the first goal, Sundowns, they set back. They held back. I was kind of wondering why. Yes, did they keep possession? Of course they did. But they didn't drive on in the way that they usually do. So with doing that, it allowed Kaizer Chiefs to come back into the game. And obviously Kaizer Chiefs created chances and they made a lot of box entries as well. But I think it was not because of Chiefs were so great at pinning Mamelodi Sundowns back. It was more of Mamelodi Sundowns just simply dropped the tempo. They dropped it so low that even in the second half, it just did not come back up. It didn't come back up. And at the end of the game, in the post-match interviews, Rulani said he was not entirely happy with that performance. He would rather put it behind him. And when he said that, everybody was surprised because they were just like, but you just won 12 games in a row. You just beat Kaizer Chiefs home and away. It's another 3 points. And I actually looked at him and I was like, I get you. Rulani, I get you. Because I saw that too. And he also mentioned the game was too open. I got that sense because when Sundowns had possession, they just lost it poorly. They allowed Kaizer Chiefs to counter press as well. And not only that, the control of the ball possession was not really good from Mamelodi Sundowns. So when he was speaking, and also when he was speaking at the press conference, I was like, I understand you, man. I totally understand you. And I think for me, when I watched that performance, I thought they were complacent. I thought maybe, because it's not the first one. I mean, Super Sport as well, you would probably say they got away with one there too. But even with Kaizer Chiefs was just a little bit more clinical. I mean, they could have dropped points. Mamelodi Sundowns could have dropped points. And I don't expect that of Mamelodi Sundowns. And that's been my criticism of Sundowns for the past number of years. Because when Manchester City play, you expect them to blow teams out the water. When Bayern Munich plays, you expect them to blow teams out the water. PSG, Barcelona, the big sides, you expect them to dominate in almost every single game, especially considering how scared and nervous Chiefs looked. And that's how I expect Sundowns. You've got the squad. You've got the philosophy. You've got the coach as well. Because I really rate Rulani highly. I really do. And strange enough, I posted the video and there were comments on social media about, but they're tired. Sheikh's like, give them a break. They've played a number of games. And I said, but are they? Are they tired? Okay, cool. Let's compare them to the bigger sides. On your screen right there, these are the games since the World Cup. I've put in teams that are vying for the league within their countries. So Manchester City, 9 games, 20 goals. Arsenal, 6 games, 15 goals. Manchester United, 9 games, 20 goals. And Barcelona, 7 games, 17 goals. And at the bottom there, Mamelodi Sundowns, 6 games and only 10 goals. For a side like that, They have to be scoring more. Could you just imagine if Pep Guardiola had mentioned that they're tired? Could you imagine if Mikel Arteta said these players were tired? Or even Erik ten Hag? And I'm not saying Rulani said they were tired, but I cannot assume this side is tired, especially considering the break that the PSL had from the World Cup. We had a longer break than other teams did, without a doubt. And also, the performances just need to get better. I expect more from Mamelodi Sundowns because everything that they have, and I say they need to get better because CAF is on the way. And they need to gain a momentum. So, yes, maybe they're getting complacent, but they need to get back to being sharp, scoring goals, being clinical, because CAF is going to be a lot harder. Moving on to Kaizer Chiefs, I must say, I was disappointed. I really was. Because when Sundowns gives you that opportunity to hit them, to strike at them, you should do that. There are a number of box entries within that game. But when you watch that game, you're like, what did Williams do, really? Other than picking up the ball. Yes, crosses were flashing past, but nothing was happening to him. There was no shot on target, per se. I think there was only 2 in the whole of 90 minutes. And I think the players let themselves down. They let S2EP25 down as well. Because you can't have that opportunity and not take it. Even the club, too. I thought they let the whole club down as well. And 2023 has not been great. It's not been great. Look at that. Kaizer Chiefs lost to Sekhukhune, 4-0 against Amazulu, and now losing to Mamelodi Sundowns. They're not scoring, but they're conceding. And I tell you, man, like, one thing I'm getting tired of hearing from S2EP25, we had the chances, we didn't take it. But for some reason, you guys are letting in goals at the back. And that is something that he needs to fix. That is something that he needs to fix, because not only is the pressure getting to him, because you can see it in the interviews, it's getting to him now. It's getting to him because now people are starting to ask questions in terms of why is this side not performing well with the acquisitions that they have? And they've put themselves in a dangerous position, because when you look at the log table at this moment, teams are catching up to them. Cape Town City is right there now. Sekhukhune is right there now. Teams that were far behind them have now caught up to them. So now if they drop further points in future, it could be costly, because they might find themselves falling down the league table. And the coach and the players have to blame themselves for that, because now your top 8 could be in jeopardy. Because Maritzburg United as well, they're not far behind. So it's up to him to fix this, because come the end of the season, I did say it on last week's show, there will be an assessment. And you can't hide. You can't hide, because the results will show itself. And the boys and coach S2EP25 need to pick their socks up. A perfect day in Orlando. A perfect day at Orlando Stadium. Orlando Pirates beating Stellenbosch 4-1. I could not believe what I was seeing. I mean, I can't believe how good Pirates were. I even asked a question right after the game. I didn't want to talk about Stellenbosch. I wanted to talk to Orlando Pirates. I wanted to talk to the players, to the technical team, and ask them, where have you guys been? Why did it take you this long? Because when I look at that Orlando Pirates side, when I look at the squad they have and the depth they have, and even in the way that they play, because they don't play necessarily badly, I was like, this is the side I imagine. I imagine this side being able to score many goals. I imagine this side being ruthless. I imagine this side having to make teams being scared to come to Orlando. And they've not been able to do that. And that's why I've highlighted them as my most frustrating team. It's probably my most disappointing team, because, you look at Sundowns, they're running away. And you're just like, but, Pirates, you were just supposed to be like the Tyson Gay there. You were supposed to put pressure on Usain Bolt, but you guys weren't, and you're coming in late. And one thing I will also say is there were things that worked out for them, especially the fact that Stellenbosch, the mistakes they made, Orlando Pirates pounced. They pounced on every single mistake. But even the Stellenbosch side, they were just inexperienced. Even the defense, 20, 21-year-olds. The goalkeeper error from Sage Stevens as well. I mean, you don't make that kind of error. And also, they looked scared after 2-0. And that's the thing. Pirates didn't stop. No matter how scared you were, Pirates put on that Chucky mask and they went on. And I was just like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And of course, Stellenbosch are a youthful side. And also, they didn't have their key players there. They're more experienced players within the side. But you could also see why Stellenbosch is where they are. Because, you know, Steve Barker has trusted youth. And youth are going to make mistakes at times. Now, with Orlando Pirates, I did ask for wins in a row, right? Now you've done 2. So basically, you've taken me out to dinner. Great. Then we did the movies. Great. Now, how about a vacation? That's all I'm asking for. Let's make it 3. Let's make it 3 in a row. And with that also said, some highlights that I want to point out for Orlando Pirates. Number 1, Kermit Rasmus scoring his first league goal. A need. It was a need. You could just see what it meant to him. The celebration as well. I think now the confidence is going to rise. Defenders chipping in, you know, that's number 2. Innocent Maela getting in on the goals. Ndlondlo as well. I mean, he looked happy. That's the Ndlondlo that I want to see every single game. I want to see that every single game, even the goal that he scored. And also just highlighted the depth within that squad, having to bring on a Motswari, a Martin, a Pule, a Marco that came on. And also Mosela, I saw him, he was on the bench. That is the depth that they have. But here's the thing. You showed me that, right? I saw flashes of it in the MTNA. You showed me that. And one thing I love about this is I don't want you guys to drop that kind of performance, that kind of velocity, that kind of pace, that kind of intensity. Don't drop that. I'm not saying you're going to win every game, but there's a lot of teams you can dominate. And one thing I love the most, around the corner is Mamelodi Sundowns. And this might be your chance at redemption. I look forward to that game, and I want to see how you guys will react to the champions. A team that deserves a mention, a team that's picking up momentum, the team of choice, Maritzburg United, picked up a crucial victory this past weekend. And I have to say, their most important signing this season has to be the coach, Fadlu Davids. You know, the reunion. It's amazing to see what is happening. He's changed the fortunes. Look at those numbers. His impact. Amazing, amazing. I love to see this. I love to see this. And for me, his story is inspirational. And I'll tell you why it's inspirational. You know, he was at Orlando Pirates, and of course, they couldn't achieve that Confederations Cup, and then he left. And I think the reason why he left is because he didn't want to be a co-assistant. That's what I think. Because I think Jose Rivera was always going to be the plan for Orlando Pirates. But he chose to just be like, hey, listen, man, I don't want to be assistant to him with Mandla Ncikazi. I want to go and do my own thing. And also, he spoke about it on radio, having to speak about he's not a fan of this co-coaching thing. He went to Russia. And even though it was a little experience, he said he learned a lot. He said he learned a lot. He came back and he was so dead set on being a head coach. And Maritzburg United have given him the chance, and boy, is he taking it. And look what he's doing at this current moment. And where he found the team to where the team is now, it's great. And I think the story that I take from Fadlu Davids is, you know, life will knock you down sometimes, man. And sometimes unfortunate things will happen. But you got to get back up. You can't give it up. You can't. And what he's doing at the moment, brilliant. The acquisitions that he's made, even in the goalkeeping department as well, brilliant. And I think from going from relegation potentially to now top 8 being inside, I mean, that is all down to him. And I wish him all the best. What an inspirational story. A team that is discreet about their business, Sekhukhune United, picking up a win over Swallows, a Swallows that fights, by the way. Yeah? And I got to tell you, Brakkies is proving that this club had to make a change with Katenu Tembu. He's proving that. You know, he's come in, he's made changes. And one thing I've picked up about this team when I've watched them, they're not, I wouldn't say they are the nicest team to watch. Because at this moment, it doesn't need you to be nice when you're trying to pick up points. But one thing is they're just so hard to score against. So hard. I mean, when you see those numbers, look at those numbers. 5 games, 4 clean sheets, and only 2 goals conceded. They're able to fight. You know, they're able to get down and dirty if they need to. And that is what they needed to do against Swallows. And also, like the Chiefs game, whenever I go back to that one, they score and they're able to just shut the back door. You know, they just shut the back door. You just can't get past them. And that's how, you probably would think that's the philosophy of Brakkies as well. You know, he's able to just put a side that is defensively good. I was worried when he took the job. I really was. I thought he took it way too quickly after Mazulu. I was like, what are you doing? It's too quick. You've not had the break. And he's proving me wrong. He's proving me wrong. He's showing that he needed to get back. He's showing that he can make a change. But now that you are here and you are making a change, and now that you're creeping up into the top 5, I mean, I'd like for you to stay. I'd like for you to stay at this club, because the one thing that I feared about Brandon was he would go to so many clubs in just a short space amount of time. It was Swallows the one time, it's AmaZulu next, now it's Sekhukhune, but that's all in the space of 2 to 3 years. I didn't want him to change jobs all the time. So I want him to stay there. I want him to build something. Because also another thing that I've noticed, he brings out the best of players that didn't do so well at their previous clubs. And Ntia scores that brilliant rocket. And you just look at what he was like at Kaizer Chiefs, but he looks rejuvenated. He looks like a different player. So he's able to do that, but I want him to keep on doing that. And one thing I like is that Sundowns next. And in the previous game that they played against Mamelodi Sundowns, they were able to come from behind and claim a draw. I just wonder what he will do next. How do you stop this side from scoring goals? A game that I really look forward to. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. Before we kick things off with my bet slip for this week, I just want to show you. It's another green bet slip right there. I won last week. Just want to show you guys. So this week, what are we doing? Carabao Cup. This week, Southampton going up against Newcastle over 2.5. I expect to see goals this week. Next game, Nottingham Forest going up against Manchester United over 2.5 goals. So I'm expecting more than 2 goals in each game. The odds 3.76. I'm putting $400 on it, and I might be getting 1.5 back. And those are my selections. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. We've come to the end of the show. Mamelodi Sundowns plays TS Galaxy very soon, so we all have to go. But before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.